I think that reading emotions is usually instinctive, and I definitely completely missed that boat. I don't have that at all. And the more I try to figure it out, I think I'm worse at it than I even thought. So, the little bits that I have gone to regular school, I had really bad behavioral problems, and I didn't work well with others. I would have, outbursts and things like that. I've been skating since I was 2 years old and competing since I was 3. I love it with all my heart. It was what has been consistent throughout my whole life. I've done it 10 hours a day, trained, regional, sectional, national level. But skating has always been extremely instinctive for me. Even when I was younger, it just flowed, it just worked right, it just felt right, and it's something that I didn't have to be told everything to do, and I seemed to be pretty good at it and everything like that.
Autism.
I think that skating really helped with that. It trained me to have to talk to the media, to have to be interviewed, it forced me to do those things that is one huge plus. I think that if I hadn't had skating, because it's not comfortable for me, to do social kind of things and interact, but I am grateful for that aspect, that I was pretty much trained to, when you shake someone's hand, you need to look them in the eye, because I didn't do that and stuff. So it's basically just memorizing what you're supposed to do. It still doesn't feel natural, but at least that helps.
What do you mean that?
Yeah, even as a kid, and I remember in any time that it would be a normal childhood setting, a school kind of a thing or a church kind of a thing, I didn't ever do very well with that. I'm really passionate, probably about the three main things, but the two main things would be I'm really passionate about skating and spiders, and I really love researching about spiders, reading up on it, going out and looking for them. I really enjoy that, and studying them, taking photos of them. I think they're really beautiful. We could go out and look at a spider right now, if you'd like. As I was growing up, from when I was little, I was alone a lot. So that's when I actually started breeding brown recluses. Was when I was a lot younger, about 8 or 9, and for something to do, and they became pretty close to me. I didn't really have any friends or anything. I wasn't around my family a whole lot. So I just would breed them, and it was a challenge for me to get them to mate, because you have to create their exact environment, and I thought that just found it was interesting. I think my mom would have definitely rather had a more normal child, I guess. I love hunting for spiders. I really like hunting for spiders. It gives you something to do. It doesn't hurt anybody. I think it's therapeutic for me. You can look around and see their habitat and nature and everything like that. Do you want to see him in there?
Tilt a little more.
So we got him.
Tell me about it. What species and so forth?
Well, it's an orb weaver. So we found him in a quite intricate web, which is all the way, this whole entire thing would be his home. Mm-hmm. And they're household spiders, which means they don't find them in your house. Their household is they build their own home, and then, they stay in their own home. They're not like a wanderer spider, for instance. So I like orb weavers. They're really pretty. They're one of there's a lot of different kinds. This one is just supposed to be a brown one, but they're usually, they can vary from neon, yellow with red spots on them, all sorts of things. So normally I would capture him, make sure that is what species he is, study him, take photographs. I don't really breed him anymore because Jennifer doesn't like spiders, so I want to keep it safe in our house too, because we got little animals and everything, so just in case. So I'd probably just study him and let him go. They're very independent, which I like as well. They don't depend on the rest of their species to live and stuff, which I like. They build their own home. They're very creative with their webs. I think it's amazing. They build beautiful homes for themselves, and all in through here would be his whole home. I tried to ruin it damage it as little as possible. Well, he has 8 legs. He's got a lovely little triangle on his abdomen, which is really beautiful. He's a dark brown. And the fact that they just create, this such a strong material out, that comes out when they create the webs is just, to me, is just intriguing. It's beautiful. If you ever see webs anywhere, I mean, the fact that this comes in instinct from the spider, to me, is just amazing. They build this, entire mansion for themselves, and it's beautiful. It's geometric. A lot of times it's amazing symmetry, and I just think it's an absolutely beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
Then I would take them. We had like a really big basement kind of thing, and I would take them and I started to collect glass containers, and then that's kind of where it started. And I'd photograph them, and then I'd look at it up online, so I'd learn about them and then remember that and go on to the next one. And I always let them go where I find them. And so when I was younger, that was what I would do, like, for fun, rather than like play with toys or whatever. That's what I do. And then as I got older, I started to breed them and try to learn more about them that way. He's scared right now. He's curled up. I feel bad.
What do you want to do?
I'd rather let him go, if that's okay. Okay. He's all curled up. I don't want to let him go. Here you go, buddy. Here you go. Okay, good. I don't want to traumatize him at all.
A horse walks into a bar and the bartender says, "Why the long face?" It's stupid.
I don't. Oh, what's funny about that, honey? Oh.
Because horses
Yeah.
actually do have.
Yeah, sorry. I don't get jokes very well, but now that you explain it to me, it's very funny. Yeah. Yeah, I don't tend to get jokes very well. She usually has to explain them to me afterward, and sometimes after she explains them to me, I could see why that would be funny. I don't know why I can't read people's expressions or their emotions or their underlying what they're saying or their subtle cues. I mean, I definitely am not dumb. I just feel like I just miss it. I don't know. It's like it doesn't exist for me. There has been things like I'll say that my parents talk to me later. I wasn't supposed to say that, or I don't like speaking with you any longer, or I don't like chit chat, and I just turn around and walk away, or something that I realize now would probably be rude.
Social stuff is.
I think social stuff is very complicated. More complicated than, a math problem or school or science facts or whatever. It's hard because, to me, there's no textbook or rule book about how you're supposed to act. And it's hard for me, anyway, to pick up on those things. So I try to avoid it. Well, it helps communicate better if you can read someone else's emotions. You can then go off of them. You can gauge what you're supposed to say off of someone's emotions and what's, I guess, right to say in that situation and stuff. And I always say the wrong thing, which is frustrating. I don't think it's the wrong thing at the time, or I wouldn't have said it, And also, especially in my relationship, I really wish I could read emotions better. I feel bad for Jennifer because I feel like I'm really, really bad at that. And I'd like for that, especially because I know it's hard for her, that I can't, tell what she's feeling or understand why. I have really bad empathy, too. I can't put myself in someone else's shoes. That's hard for me. I have no idea, like in the past, if someone, has been hitting on me. I have no idea. It just goes over my head, which is good, I guess. But, yeah, I don't pick up on hints like that either.
When do you catch
I don't really. For instance, Jennifer had to be very, very forward, or else I wouldn't I've probably even gotten it then, you know, extremely forward, to directly tell you I like you, or, and she's a really forward person, so that's helpful to me. It works well. Our relationship works well. But, like, she initiates things, and she is really direct with me, which I'm really grateful for, or I would have no idea.
As you think back as a kid, has that always... It's always hard to ask a person if they've always missed things, because when you miss things, you don't know you're missing them.
I actually haven't known that I've missed a lot of stuff until Jennifer. She's the one that informs me of what I'm doing, kind of, and has gotten me to pay better attention and know myself better. But I wasn't aware. I just thought I was just going on doing my thing, I guess. Jennifer. Well, the first time I heard the word Asperger's was probably later. More recently, Jennifer suggested that I might have that and that I should, you know, get checked out and see if there isn't anything that could help me deal with it better. When I was younger, I got diagnosed with autism. Again, I didn't take anything for it, and really didn't do anything for it. But in the last 3 years, I guess, we've been trying to get me some help, pinpoint what's wrong, see what I'm on medication now. I'm down to one medication right now that I'm taking that seems to be helping a little bit, I feel like. But we keep trying to narrow it down and find more things. I try to pick up on what other people do, or things that I'm told and stuff that I'm supposed to do, and then I just try to memorize it and do it rote how I'm supposed, you know, oh, I know, okay, now I'm supposed to shake someone's hand, and then I remind myself of that, and then I do that, so I can try to appear as normal as possible. Yeah. I would always prefer to stay home. Jennifer likes to go out though, and so we compromise, and on occasion I take her out. Pretty much I just talk to her though, and we dance together and we go home. So I like dancing with her. I'm okay in different situations as long as she's with me. I can try to manage things better, and it's fun. We go out, and I don't drink anymore, but she'll have a drink or so, and we can dance a little bit, and it's something she loves, so I like to make her happy. I'm very afraid of, actually, a lot of things, actually. I try to not come across that way, but a lot of things in life terrify me. I don't like dealing with people socially. Like I said, maybe that's because I have done things wrong and I've been embarrassed, so I'm not sure which it is. But I am always afraid that I'm going to say the wrong thing, or I don't know what to say to someone, or it's going to be awkward, or someone's not going to like me. That's very terrifying all the time. I do. Not very often, not like violent, no. But if I do have like what I call outbursts, I get really frustrated, and you know, I'll just say no, I can't do that, you know, and I freak out, and I'm not like a aggressive, violent person or anything, but I definitely get mad and upset when things not necessarily go my way, just go as planned, I guess.
Important thing?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily, if it's what planned is to go my way, then that's okay, but if we establish something is going to go a certain way, and then it veers from that, I just, like I said, the whole world's spinning. I feel like everything is just going to, you know, fall down around me and everything.
Well, I think she's had a lot of abuse of every kind, and I think she was dealing with a lot of that in unhealthy ways. That's the biggest thing. One of the ways was being dishonest, because she so needs people like her, or in the past needed people like her, that it didn't matter what she was saying wasn't true about herself or whatever. As long as she got approval, that's what mattered. The hardest thing would probably be she sometimes like she can do something and it's okay, but if she was to do the exact same thing to me, she doesn't understand why it would be upsetting. So I'm, you know, not the most mature person, I realize, and I'm quite vindictive. So I will do the exact same thing to her that she just did to me and say, how did that feel? Now are you going to do it to me again? So that's created problems. So I've tried to be less vindictive, and she's tried to be more understanding.
Like I said, it's hard for me to, without actually being there, for me to imagine being in someone else's shoes. Like, oh, that would be hurtful, you know, and I just don't think of that. So.
And I tried like, imagine if I did this to you, how would you feel? And she's like, I'd feel fine. And then I'll do it to her, and she gets really mad. And I'm like, I thought you said you'd feel fine. So it's really hard for her to understand things if she hasn't exactly experienced that.
Well, something that I really, really struggle with on a daily basis is like things that everybody else, I guess, just it comes easy for them. Like, you know, doing laundry, taking a shower, all stuff that people don't even think about, I think. It's like impossible for me. And so Jennifer has helped me make this, she made this chart for me, actually. And so, as my name there, and then this is the week, you know, Sunday to Saturday, and she wrote in here, shower, wash face, floss teeth, brush teeth, deodorant, comb hair, drink water, and stretch. So they're all things that I don't think of to do on my own. And so this helps me, because I'm a routine person, it helps me, I can come and put a sticker there if I did it. And then she said that after I get 100 stars, we can go to the zoo or the aquarium. So I'm very excited about that. I almost have 100 also. Anyway, so this helps kind of some checks and balances for me. And then also she can see whether I did it that day or not. And so that's been really helpful because I struggle with, I mean, I'd go more than a week without showering, you know, and stuff, and that's just not acceptable in the world.